Good morning, beautiful, beautiful people. It is the first day of spring, and we're going to start this service with a fairy song that came to me many years ago. So just take a breath and just imagine all the tulips and everything that's coming to light. We're all coming to light. No. Surely, we're doing, and when she comes. Not yet. We will do Surely the Presence first. Surely the Presence is here. D minor. Oh, he's got a fairy sound. We need a fit.
The sap is running.
And when she comes, she is so lovely. Silk and flowers, her hand she brings. She is the promise in the dawning, the first day of spring. The first day of spring. The first day of spring. And to the wind she breathes a whisper, settle to a gentle breeze, and we will kiss away the cold of winter and set the buds to the trees. The first day of spring. The first day of spring. Woo! Yay, she's here. Oh, wonderful. So please rise as you are able, and let's celebrate the presence, for surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
We hold spring and beauty in our hearts, and we hold the people of Ukraine in our hearts. We hold both. A prayer for peace. From your heart, Holy One, to the suffering heart of Ukraine, to a world both beautiful and broken, pour out, we pray, your solace to the hearts choked with grief, your strength to those shattered by trauma, to all now in flight, rest in safe shelter, to all left behind, your tender presence. Turn those who seek to dominate and destroy toward the way of peace, the work of justice. In trust, we pledge our lives to no more war. War, never again. May this be so for all your people on this day and on every day, held in your unconditional love. May it be so. Amen.
Amen. May it be so strong. And may we stay strong. And Sherry's going to sing the song, and we can all sing it together. Stay strong. So strong. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. So strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God.
Let me tell you about the love I feel,
Singing with the voice of God.
let me tell you about a love so real,
Singing with the voice of God.
so strong,
So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God.
let me tell you about the hope I
Yeah, singing with the voice of God.
let me tell you about a hope
Singing with the voice of God. Here we go.
so strong,
So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God.
so strong,
So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. Hallelujah! 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 Singing with the voice of God. Woo! Tell us about it, Keith. Come on, Jack.
let me tell you about the faith I
Yeah, singing with the voice of God.
let me tell you about the faith so real,
Singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. Hallelujah! 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 Singing you. Here we go. Spirit of God is upon me. Let's go. Here we go. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Oh, I used to think that I had to. Used to think that I should. Oh, Spirit told me I had to be good. Now I love because I want to. And I love because I'm free. Blinded by the Spirit, oh Lord. Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, I don't need anybody. Don't need any love. Wanna stay with all my heart. Loving God is my all. Let go of my burden. Loving God has set me free. Blinded by the Spirit.
Right now, best unity band on the planet, hands down, best band. Welcome to Unity on the River. Am I really loud, or is it me? Should I just whisper? Is it my voice? I mean, I can probably I don't have to use this, but those guys need me. Let's say hi to the streamers. Hi, streamers.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you for coming. I see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time today. So I think the first day of spring is bringing out some more lunatics. Now, who amongst us here is first time here? We've got
welcome.
these two young ladies here. Anybody else?
Do we have a welcome packet?
So welcome to Unity on the River in our temporary space.
We have welcome packets. Do you have them?
Oh, we have some welcome, just for some information. Great, excellent. Well, they get that your new cars are parked right outside on the side street.
Is it what?
She didn't get it. Your new car is parked outside on the side street. Being new.
Of course.
Now, everyone here next week will be like, I'm new. So what else am I doing here? Doing a welcome packet. So we have to do vision and vision and mission.
Yes, we do.
So, well, let's do our six principles. We are a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. So let's do our vision statement. No, let's start with our mission statement. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And then what is our vision? Let's hold that in our hearts. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Really great to see everybody. Look at that. I feel like a politician. Hey, what's going on? Hey, so glad you came. Yeah, vote for me. Seriously, all these faces, it's wonderful.
It is. It's a vote for unity.
It's a vote for unity. So yeah, you know, in fact, I think this spring, this summer, hopefully more people will be able to come live in person if you feel comfortable as things get better in our land of infection. But hopefully it's getting better, right? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. So now let's do Namaste, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as you all know, I think you're familiar with Namaste. Handshake, hug, you know, see what the person is comfortable with. Basically seeing the Christ in you, and what else?
Yes. Saying hello. Let's
And,
greet
you
each
know,
other in love.
Walk around and say Namaste.
All right. Oh, doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel just great to be with everybody? So, Stephanie Roy is with us today, and she's going to speak about the soul. And I know it's going to be about the soul's journey, right? Am I right? Okay. So I always want to think about the music, of course, that adds to that message. And this song came to me, again, as a God-given song that I am never alone. We are never alone when we have the Spirit of the loving God within us. In the temple of my body, there is an altar in my And he whispers, you are never alone, and I need this. It is good for my soul. In the temple, at the altar, I am home. In the temple of my body, there is an altar in my heart, and I go there, standing is God, and she holds me. You are my darling, my own. And he whispers, you are never alone. Oh, I need this, for it is the fruit of my soul. In the temple, at the altar, I am home. I am home. Namaste. So, the next thing we have to happen is that we have our beloved Stephanie Roy, who we all know as a teacher and a healer and an inspiration to all of us. So just welcome Stephanie with all your hearts. Bless you, Steph. Thank you. And a comedian. She's also a comedian, if you didn't know.
Although I'm not feeling very funny right now, I have to say, I've known Meg for a long time. I have every one of her albums. I know almost all of her songs by heart, and that is my favorite song. I mean, in the temple of my body, there's an altar in my heart. And I stand there naked. And there's God. It's actually a perfect segue into, I also feel a little loud, but I'll trust Brian on that. It's a perfect segue into where I wanted to go this morning. And I learned something from Amy last time she spoke, one of the times she spoke. She said, I've stopped saying I'm sorry, I've started saying thank you. So instead of apologizing to everybody for switching up the talk I had said I was going to do, I'm going to thank you for your tolerance and your patience. Because I came away from last week, we talked about shame, we talked about the origin of shame, the impact of shame, the interventions for shame, and the gifts of shame. And I came away from there feeling ashamed. Because it's not the first time, but I've often come away from a talk going, oh, I wish I had said this, and I forgot to say that. But this actually stayed with me. There's more to say here. So I'm going to pray your indulgence and talk more. I want to unpack that more, because I think it has complete relevance to what's going on in the world. Okay? And I forgot about that line in your song, Meg, about I stand there naked, because that's where the trouble started, remember? And we're going to go back to the Garden of Eden. The man and his wife were naked. They were not ashamed until, and this is the part, one of the parts I missed last week, they ate the fruit, but it didn't say they covered up right away. It said that their eyes were opened. Their eyes were opened. Now, certainly they weren't blind before. So we're not talking about physical eyes, but the eyes of their understanding opened, and they noticed something they had not noticed before, which was that they were naked. Now imagine what would have happened if they had looked down, saw they were naked, and I think this is, what happens the minute we make a mistake, the minute we do something wrong, the minute we're caught doing something wrong, there's this uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's like when you push, remember if you've been at the computer and you've worked for hours and hours and you push this button and the minute you've pushed it, it's like, oh, not that one, and you lose everything. It's that awful, awful feeling, which is shame and fear, this kind of shame-fear ball. Now, what they did is they covered up, they hid in the bushes, they were full of fear, and they started blaming everybody. They couldn't take any ownership, because why? They were brand new, they were young, okay? But again, what if, when they saw they were naked, they went to the only place where the help could have been? What if they ran to God and said, oh my God, you know that fruit you told us not to eat? We ate it. Are we in trouble? Are we bad? Do you hate us? Are we, what's happening? But it was counterintuitive to go to the very place where the help was. Now, I actually think that was how it's supposed to start. I think moving out of innocence and into maturity requires some kind of awakening and a break. But when we go in the beginning, we're just learning about it. So all the things that they felt shameful about, their genitals, themselves, they got it wrong. They kept getting it wrong about what it meant for things to be separate, different but not separate. Okay? So the other thing that I forgot to say last week was the difference between shame and guilt. And most of you probably know this, but guilt is, I've done something wrong. Shame is, I am something wrong. Now with guilt, there's some hope, because if I've done something wrong, then I can do something right to repair it, to make a reconciliation, to make up for it. But if I am something wrong, there's no hope. Especially if what I believe, however erroneously I believe it, if what I believe that I am something wrong means I will never be loved. I will never be wanted. I will be excluded. That core piece of abandonment, that fear of abandonment, that I'll be left alone, that I won't be gathered in, gathered up. I mean, the line that always gets me in Meg's song is, and there is God, and she holds me. You are my darling, my own. He holds me. You are my darling, my own. That's what somebody naked needs, is someone to gather them up and need to be covered. But Adam and Eve and all of us tend to get it wrong. Remember I talked about there are two kind of voices in your head. One is always encouraging you. One is always accusing you. Now, we're really familiar with the one that accuses. It is this continual, relentless, constant comment, constant commentary with the narrative that essentially says, you're imperfect, you're flawed, you're not enough, you're too much this, you're not enough that. And it doesn't matter what you do, this voice will tell you you're doing it wrong, or you're doing it badly, or it's just that you're falling short. And we talked last week about that falling short just means, sin, that the term for sin is falling short just means I'm not there yet. So we all arrive here as babies. We have the potential to be adults. Everything in the baby is there for the adult, but the baby isn't there yet. Okay? But this voice takes a look at those facts and keeps giving you the conclusion that you are worthless. And I said, if you don't challenge that voice or get some help getting it interpreted, it will drive addiction, it will drive depression, it will drive anxiety, it will drive suicide, it will drive war. Because here's what happens, and this is where I want to go. I want to go into conscious shame and unconscious shame. The shame posture, the body posture for shame, is that. Adam and Eve did it. They ran into the bushes. That's the natural response when you get exposed. The natural response is to cover up and run and hide and protect yourself. Okay? The natural response is not to run toward the thing that you think is going to reject you. So this is the posture of unconscious shame, or shame that where the message hasn't been challenged. So if you're trying to and I'll pull this piece in from Pia Mellody. Pia Mellody said, children blame and take on blame. So when you're looking at it from a young place, you either blame yourself, I'm a piece of shit, or you blame somebody else, they're the piece of shit, right? But somebody's a piece of shit, right? So children blame and take on blame. Adults problem solve. So can you problem solve from this position? No. Why? Because you can't see anything. You know, if you're trying to fix a toaster and you try a couple things and it doesn't work and you just go to like this, that toaster's never going to get fixed. It's like, okay, that didn't work, and that didn't work, and that didn't work. And I think that's actually a lot of what we're here to figure out is what doesn't work. I think hopefully we're at the tail end of understanding war doesn't work. But that's all the natural learning process. So unconscious shame comes up like this. We do something, we are something. Hang on a minute. And the fear is, if this is true of me, remember shame is I'm something wrong? If this is true of me, I won't be loved. I mean, that's our deepest fear. It's our deepest longing to love and be loved, and our deepest fear is that we won't. So if I think there's anything about me that will result in my not being loved, I don't want anything to do with it. I disown it. I go into denial. I put it behind me, because anything in the unconscious, by definition, it's not in the light of your consciousness, it's in your unconscious. But it doesn't go away, and it is not benign. What happens when whatever we can't own, we project out into the world, and of course, if we're projecting, it's going to be bigger than us. But it's a part of us that we have disowned that we now only see out there. That's called projection. That is the basis of shadow work. That's a whole nother weekend. but that's how that works. I call it kitty in the mirror. Have you seen these little videos, either on Funniest Home Videos or on Instagram Reels, with the little cat's walking by and he sees the mirror and it's like, meow! And he's looking at his own reflection. But that's what we do. If we can't own the places where we are flawed, imperfect, immature, because we're afraid we won't be loved, we project it out into the world, we see it out in the world. If it's a part of us that we are afraid won't be loved, we'll go to war with it. We'll just, it'll just drive us crazy. If it's a part of us that's actually wonderful that we can't own, we will project that out in the world and we will fall in love with it. How do you know you're projecting? It's because of you'll feel this kind of strong energy, either of repulsion or attraction. Like I've got a super golden projection on Tom Brady. I just love Tom Brady. And what I notice is everybody doesn't have that. That's how I know it's my projection. So what do I want to say? I said anything about everything I want to say? Oh, now, when again, an unconscious shame in this voice of the accuser. By the way, it's interesting. The Hebrew term for Satan is shaitan. It means the adversary. In the New Testament, Satan is referred to as the accuser, as the liar, as the deceiver. So this constant comment in our voice is kind of always pointing out, and I want to just say that it's just pointing out your humanity. That's it. It's not pointing out your unworthiness. But if you don't challenge it, you'll go to one side or the other. If you listen to that voice, you will go to a place of complete unworthiness. I'm not worthy. Or you can go to a place of grandiosity, right? It depends on who you're blaming. So you can go to this place where you're just nothing, or you can go to this place where you're just everything, and both of those places are dysfunctional. Now I want to talk about conscious shame. I've done something wrong. I might even see something in myself that I don't like. Why? If you see something in yourself you don't like, I want to just remind you, the part of yourself that sees that is divine. And all it just means like, oh, we're not there yet, but we're coming along. So, I lost my train of thought again. Hang on a second. Okay, so we see something in ourselves, and here's where the courage comes in, and the beginning of maturity comes in. We take ownership of it. We take responsibility for it. We feel the yuck feeling, but we don't leave. We stay present. This is where Shipley told me about this country western song about when you're going through hell, keep going. So this is where it takes courage. When you have a wave of shame come up, and if you're a human being on the planet, that you will have that experience. But you don't distract. You don't, smoke something, drink something, buy something. You don't turn on yourself. You just sit in the garden, saying, this is true. And you take some ownership. Then you have some agency. I think about, before I tell that story, when you deal with shame consciously, and the phrase that came to me is conscious shame is shame that has told the truth. Remember, Jesus said, you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And what I found in both recovery and in therapy is that the truth that sets me free is when I find a safe place to tell my own truth. So conscious shame that's done its work can tell the truth. Now, unconscious shame leads to unworthiness or grandiosity. Conscious shame leads to humility and connection. One of the things that Brené Brown says is that the antidote to shame is empathy. That when you risk taking this thing out of isolation, out of hiding, and find somebody safe and you bring it to them and you say, this is true of me. This is what I did. This is what I thought. This is what I felt. This is what I failed to do. And their response is, yeah, me too. Can you feel that difference? how different that is from the energy of the accuser? And one of the places I think this shows up is the story of the woman who was brought to Jesus, who was caught red-handed in adultery. Don't even get me started about where was the guy. But, you know, we are where we are on the spectrum. So the teachers, the Pharisees, brought this woman. They said, the law says she should be stoned. What are you going to do? You're such a big guy on the law. And again, we see the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. That was the law for that time. So Jesus didn't argue with them. He didn't have a theological discussion with them about the law and grace or anything like that. All he did is he starts writing in the dirt. We don't know what he wrote. There's one commentator that said maybe he started writing out different sins. Adultery, stealing. But what he said was, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And within a few minutes, all the accusers had gone. Because whatever Jesus did, each person that was there, he invited them. He said, if you're without sin, pick up a stone. He invited them to look inside. And I guarantee you, every single one found a flaw, a sin, a failing. And what was the result? Mercy. Mercy. So conscious shame, shame that has told the truth and done its work, results in connection, results in empathy, results in mercy. Glennon Doyle just wrote a book. I think the name of the book is called We Can Do Hard Things. So it takes being a grown-up or wanting to be a grown-up to stand in the unpleasant sensation, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, of looking at your own flaws and failings and where you fall short. But it is work that is worth doing. You know, it's interesting. Jesus is referred to as the second Adam. The first Adam said, don't blame me. The mature Adam said, I'll take it on. Blame me for everything. He could have said, ho'oponopono. He would have been saying exactly the same thing. Because here's what's true. And this is, I've been watching all week long what's happening. And of course, we watch what's happening environmentally. This is a perfectly imperfect world that is in process. As I said, we're in the middle of this story. But I've been watching this unfold. And one of the only ways we're going to come to the end of understanding about that war initially looks like it's a good thing. It has been used for good things in the past, but it's limited. One of the ways that we find out that doesn't work is as we begin to understand exactly what the founders of Unity understood. That there aren't two of us. There aren't enemies. There's no them. There's only us. And as we kind of move out of the singular ego identity into a unity consciousness, and I will get to this next week in the wisdom of the body, we will begin to operate the way the body operates, which is, major systems different organs, different parts, but they communicate, they collaborate, they cooperate. That the trillions of cells that have been coming and going in this nearly 17-year-old body, they're all in the service of the one, and yet the one doesn't show up in any particular cell. There's no one cell you can take out and go, oh, that's Stephanie. It doesn't work like that. So we are the cells in the body of God, all of us. And our message from our way shower, our message even about enemies is, love your enemies. It's easy to love your friends. It's easy to love the people who are sitting in the same room with you. Try loving your enemies. Try loving your enemies. And how you love them is you realize they're not your enemies. And I don't know, I mean, I can't wait to talk to Jesus. But, I mean, I talked to him, I mean, like really talk to him. Anyway, but, you know, I think he didn't get that part fully until Good Friday when he said, the very people that he had actually made into enemies, he was rough on the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the chief priests, he was rough on the teachers until Good Friday. And then he said, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They stopped being enemies in his eyes. I think they started being children. They don't know what they're doing. All those things I wanted to call down on them, don't call those down. They don't know what they're doing. So I'd like to invite us to end with and I don't know if everybody's familiar with this. A lot of people are familiar with the Ho'oponopono. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But what I love about it is it's a way to practically work with what's going on in the world, and a way to practice remembering that even though we're all separate cells, like I'm not you, you're not me, but we are all part of one thing. And we are co-creating our reality. I just don't personally co-create my reality. We are collectively co-creating this reality. That means, and the Course in Miracles teach this, what's going on in the world we have created. We've created it, by the way, with the best of intentions. Nobody goes to war for the wrong reasons. Everybody who goes to war thinks they're fighting for the right side. Putin thinks he's taking back for Russia something that was taken away, right? So this is a way to remember that we've been trying to get back home, and I'll talk about that more next week, these cycles that we come. I mean, the last line of Meg's song is, I'm home. I'm home. When I'm in that temple, when I'm in those arms, I'm home. So this is a way of acknowledging we've collectively, up to this point, created a world where one country is bullying another country. If I'm going to take ownership of that and take it all on, I will say, I'm going to say it once and I'm going to invite you to say it with me. I love you. I'm sorry. This is what I've created so far in my, with the best of intentions, it came out this bad. Please forgive me. And because I'm also the Christ, I can know that that forgiveness is mine, and I can say thank you. Thank you. So repeat after me. I love you. And I want you to think of anybody who comes to your mind, especially your enemies. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you.
I love that. So please remove anything off of your laps now and just come into the presence. We're going to go into a time of meditation. Return to the land of your soul. Turn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to who you are, what you are. Return to what you are, where you are. Return to where you are, born and reborn. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul.
Bringing your attention to your breath, following it inside, into the center, right into your heart, that middle place between heaven and earth, that place of home. Allow yourself to be there, naked, perfectly imperfect, held close in the loving arms of the divine. Feel all the beings on this planet, in that place, on that altar, held close in the love of the divine. As we go into the silence.
Return to the land of your soul. Please join us, everyone. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Who you are, return. Return to who you are, to what you are. Return to what you are, where you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again to my soul. Return again. Return to the land of my soul. Oh, so in that beautiful energy, let's open our hearts to our tithes and offerings and the giving that we are here, what we are all about. We're here to give and receive love, and our tithes and offerings are part of that. So please, if you have them, hold them in your hands, and if they're already being given through Venmo or those on streaming, however you're giving, PayPal, we say the blessing of the tithes and offerings.
Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Oh, I got everything that I need to be happy. Do I got food? I got friends. I got my community. Yeah, yeah. I got the birds in the morning and the trees in the sky. I got my heart to singing my. Oh my! Did you hear them this morning? They were brilliant. I got everything to be happy. Oh, I got nothing if I don't have myself. For all God's graces, what good is money? What good is wealth? I got everything that I need to be happy. I got love, I got laughter, I got what's left of my sanity. I got John on piano, Jerry and Steph in my ear. I got all you sweet, beautiful people and everybody all around the world loving each other in peace and grace and ease. I got everything that I need. Everything that I need, I got everything that I need to be happy. We do, don't we? You want to bless the tithes and offerings, Stephanie?
Ah, beautiful spirit. We just see the energy in these bags multiplying and streaming out to all the places where there are empty holes that need to be filled up with these. It sure comes in handy down here, bub. So we just thank you for all your generosity, and we bless these tithes and offerings. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you so much. So as we wrap things up, I want to just say a few thank yous. Just want to say thank you to Meg, the Unity Band, Brian Dozer, Keith Bickford, Sherry Gardette as the choir and singer, John Hyde on keyboards, Steve Chigares, Mike Gruen on bass.
And Keith
Keith Bickford.
Brian is also doing sound. He does double duty, especially with the church. Annabelle, she's behind the scenes. She does
thank
so
you,
much.
Stan and Annabelle.
Stan, he takes care of our money. How was that trip to Aruba? Is anybody here from the board? Please stand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to anyone who,
Have,
everyone who is here and live streaming, we wouldn't, be as fun. It was just us singing, so or talking. So I'm so grateful everyone is here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
She's also inviting people to choir. If you weren't hearing that, please start. We're going to start Easter. I'm going to put a plug for in. We have a whole Easter program coming forward with Good Friday. Palm Sunday's next. Is it next week? No, week after next. And then Good Friday is a Sunday. We'll celebrate Good Friday on a Sunday and Easter. And we need voices. So just come in the morning at 8:30, and we will have after, starting the first week in April, we're going to have after Sunday hour-long practices for Easter Sunday. So please, if you can make it.
We don't need
I'm seeing people. We don't need to practice.
We're professionals.
That's it.
No, that's good. That was my first announcement. Second was about the documentary.
Oh, yes.
That there, I know, Meg, you were talking about before last week, March
Yes,
March
Dawnland.
30th.
Yeah.
That's all online, the information.
That's all online. Dawnland, the screening of this wonderful Indigenous First Peoples movie. It's nominated for many awards about the First People and, sadly, the genocide and the boarding schools and the scalping proclamation. So that's all part of our shadow. We have to feel it and redeem ourselves and our energy through the Ho'oponopono and come to stasis or come to back to peace around everything that was done and let go of the past in a way that is healthy for the planet. So it's the March 31st. I think you've got the information.
30th?
Oh, the
30th.
30th. I'm sorry. At 7:30, is it?
Doesn't say.
Okay. Well, it's all online.
Yeah. And then, Brian, we've got a local event coming up. You're going to be in a play with your daughter, Our Town, with Brian.
I am. I'm in Our Town. It's in Hamilton at the community house, and Hannah is in it as well. It's fun. It's a classic. What? It starts this coming Thursday, and it's for the next 2 weekends. Today's our long tech rehearsal, but I'm not that, so it's good.
All right, thank you all.
And Tuesday nights at the Backbeat is Steve and the Ken Clark Organ Trio. Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
7 o'clock, come.
In Beverly at Backbeat Brew.
Right down by the train
Very
station.
fun.
Every Tuesday night with Ken Clark, those of you that know Ken Clark.
Right off of Rantoul Street.
He's amazing.
Rantoul.
All right, thank you guys.
Well, before I start the next song, I want to shout out to John Wilkinson.
Yay, Johnny!
Haven't seen you in forever. And if she's watching online, I know Diane Gage was here last week too, and I haven't seen her in forever too. So it's good to see you all coming back. And here we go. How far is that?
We are the church.
How far is heaven? It's right here. Heaven's right here, isn't it?
You might want to get up and dance to this one.
Vámonos!
Come on.
Save me from this prison, Lord. Help me get away. 'Cause only you can save me now from this misery. And I've been lost in my own place, and I'm getting weary. How far is heaven? And I ways of living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? And I've been locked up way too long in this crazy world. How far is heaven? And I just keep on praying, Lord, and just keep on living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just got to know how far, yeah. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? Santo cielo, écheme tu benedición, 'cause I know there's a better place than this place I'm living. How far is heaven? And I just got to have some faith and just keep on giving. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just got to know how far, yeah. How far is heaven? How far is heaven? How far is heaven? I just got to know how far, yeah.
Energetically or however, connect with the person next to you, and all around the world we send this beautiful high energy out as we sing the peace song. Be my joyous path to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, let it begin with me. Let's hold this energy and send it to John Hyde's mother. He's going to be gone next week because Ma is turning 100. Woo! Happy birthday! Say happy birthday, Ma! Happy birthday, Ma!
The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed.
Those
the voice of God. So strong, so strong. Singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about the love I have. Singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about a love so real. Singing with the voice of God. So strong, yes, so strong. Singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong. Singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about the hope I felt. Singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about a hope so real. Singing with the voice of God. So strong, yes, so strong, so strong. Singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong. Singing with the voice of God. Hallelujah.
So cute.